Okay, so y'all are probably wondering why the hell she got on a bonnet. Okay, welcome to this series on my channel, Bonnets and Bedtime Stories. So why not start off my channel with the story about how Blind Beauty went blind. So let's just jump right into this. We are going to be talking about, like I said, how I went blind. And at the end of this, it's going to be a Q&A about the top 5 questions that people ask me as a blind person. So let's just jump right into this, guys. So I lost my sight at age 17. I was in high school, and like every high schooler or some high schoolers that I know anyway, we wanted to make some maya. We want to make some money. So I'm like, okay, I need to get a job. I got a job my junior year working at McDonald's. So I was working at McDonald's, and my senior year is actually when I lost my sight, which is the first time I realized that my vision was getting blurry. And so I'm just, at work, I'm taking somebody's order. They get in a small fry and a McChicken and a frappe and, just ordering up the whole damn store. So I'm taking this person's order and I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, why is it so blurry? Now, back in the day, I used to wear glasses. I mean, glasses is a thing, you know what I mean? I'll have some eyewear soon, shameless plug. But, I wear glasses. But before that, my oldest brother, or one of my older brothers, he wore glasses. So that's when I started wearing glasses, because when we were little, he hated glasses. I think glasses are popping. I didn't think it was nerdy. I thought it was sexy, actually. But he didn't like his glasses, so he used to always like squint his eyes. And so monkey see, monkey do, I would watch him, and I just started squinting my eyes. And my mom was like, I say I gotta go blind, I say you need, she, Jamaican mom, she's just like, listen, if you continue to squint your eyes, you're gonna need glasses. And she was 100% right. I started wearing glasses, so fast forward back to Mickey D's, I have on my glasses, and I'm like, why is it so blurry? Like, why do I feel like it's just too blurry? So I take my glasses off, and I still couldn't see that well. It was the same. So I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. So I go home and I tell my mom, I said, my glasses, like, I don't think they're working. I think something's going on with my prescription. Like, something gotta be going on, child. And I said, we need to figure out what's going on. And she said, well, it's about that time for your annual eye exam. So let's just set up an appointment and we'll go. It had been like some time before this appointment, and other things just started happening with me. I started getting headaches really, really bad. And if anybody knows me, I don't like pills. I don't like Tylenol. I'm just not into medication. But I was in so much pain that I started taking really strong medication to go to sleep. And once upon a time, not long ago, I had to literally be rushed to the hospital. So as we're waiting for this eye exam, I ended up getting to the hospital because, like I said, my eyesight was just going and going. And the day that I actually was sent to the hospital, I was going to school and walking to the bus stop, and my equilibrium was so off. Plus the blurriness, plus the headaches. Once I got to the hospital, my mom, of course, she ran to the hospital from work, and they basically said that I have a sinus infection. So this is the first issue that I have. I feel like sometimes in the medical field, we don't research things enough. They immediately said, oh, she has a sinus infection. That was not the case. And the way that I actually got to the hospital is, like I said, I was walking to the bus stop. I got to school, my head is pounding. Miss Thomas, marketing teacher, shout out to her. She's like, D, you cannot stay in this room if your head is gonna be on a table. Sent me to the nurse. I went to the nurse. I was unresponsive. Like, they were asking me questions and I couldn't answer them. And I eventually was taken to the hospital from school. So just imagine that, like, as a senior in high school, everybody is seeing you taken off on a gurney. It was embarrassing. It was frightening. And So at this point, my mom was like, okay, well, your eye appointment is coming up. So we're going to really figure out what's going on with you. We go to the eye appointment, and I'm all excited. I'm looking for everything. I'm like, oh shit, these glasses is cute. These is cute. Because like I said, people get so weird about glasses. They feel like it makes them look nerdy. I think it's sexy. You ever see like a sexy teacher and she got her glasses on, her pencil skirt, and all that. So very into glasses. So we finally have the eye exam, and they come into the room and they tell me, so her optic nerve is swollen, and the medical term for this is papilledema. And they basically were saying that my nerve was swollen. They had to refer me to a neurologist. I was referred to this neurologist. We're gonna name him Dr. Insurance, because this nigga just drained my insurance. Like, I feel like this. I feel like if you are a professional, I feel like if you can't figure out what's wrong with somebody, refer them. It's okay to say, hey, I really don't know what's going on. I'm going to refer you to somebody that's better than me. But because he was so money hungry, he just kept doing these different tests. So I go to this guy. He says, oh, well, what can you see? And I said, well, right now I can see everything, but it's a little bit blurry. This man did so many tests on me. I mean, he was trying to do a spinal tap in his office. If anybody doesn't know, a spinal tap is something that can be done at one-day surgery. There's this huge machine that will actually look at the skeleton of your body. It'll say where your spine is. So when they put in that needle, they're drawing out the liquid or the spinal fluid, and you're not in pain for too long. This man was trying to prod and poke me and do all kinds of things, and my mom is holding my hand. I'm like, Mommy, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. You're not about to be stabbing up my back, and you can't see exactly where you need to put the needle to drain this fluid. He's like, okay, fine, we won't do it today. When I tell you, this man was so lackadaisical. I lost my sight between 6 to 8 weeks. So just imagine, this is not just like, oh, a month ago. Like, I mean, 6 to 8 weeks. I kept going to this man, doing tests. He did not want to refer me. He just kept taking money from me, prescribing things that did not work. So finally, I get to the point where I can't see anything. And the best way to describe this is like, if you've ever seen like those old time photos in black and white, that's what I could see. And I had to hold on to my mom's arm right at this point, because I could see a little bit, but not enough to walk by myself. So we go into the office, and my mom went real Jamaican rank. She's like, look, my daughter can't see nothing. What are you gonna do? When I tell you, Dr. Insurance starts scrambling around the office and shuffling papers and shit and just like, oh, we gotta get her to surgery. We gotta get her to surgery. I'm like, my mom was like, I'm not trying to do that type of surgery, because again, my mother is a nurse in the OR. She's seen these type of surgeries. And she's like, I don't want to do that to her. She's only 17. And I was like, Mommy, we gotta do something. Something has to give, because at this point, I can't see anything. So she's like, okay, fine. He sets up the appointment, and I go home. And so I actually went to the appointment a lot earlier for this surgery, because I was in bed with my mom, because at this point I couldn't sleep upstairs in my room anymore. She was like, I don't want you really going upstairs, like just stay down here with me. And this was around like November, around Thanksgiving. And I was home for Thanksgiving. And there was just one night we were in the bed, and I was just in so much pain. Like, I used to pray and ask God, like, please, like, this pain is too much. Like, the pill's not working. Nothing is working. And she said, if you continue to feel like this, I'm taking you to the ER. We went to the ER. And they immediately admitted me to the pediatrician unit. I was there for one day, and they literally helicoptered me to AI DuPont, which is an amazing establishment, amazing surgeons. This is a hospital where young children from infant to 17 years old, I mean, cancer patients, they were just, it was an amazing experience, and I just really love them, and I really appreciate them for everything they did for me while I was there. So I get helicoptered to this big hospital, And it was fun, actually. You would think, like, bitch, you can't see. You in a helicopter. Like, it was fun, strangely enough. So I get to the hospital and I immediately am put into ICU. I get put into ICU and I'm there for a couple of days. They perform a surgery, and this surgery was called a lumbar drain, which was basically to drain the fluid out of my back so they can keep on testing the height of my pressure, like how high was the pressure in my brain. That surgery did not work. So they said, okay, we need to actually put you in surgery. Like, we need to do something. We have to put that pump in your head, which is basically a shunt. It goes from the top of my head, down my neck, around my boobies, and into my stomach, and it drains off any extra fluid. So, you guys, I spent Christmas in ICU. After the big surgery that I had, I spent New Year's there, and I was just crying to my mom, and I'm like, Mommy, I prayed and God, let me know in my spirit that I had won, that I was good. I'm not good. I can't see nothing, because after the surgery, they did tell me it may go completely black for me, which it did. I couldn't see nothing. I couldn't tell if the lights were on. I'm just like, this is not winning. God, how is this winning? How? And I did not understand that until now. So after a while, I got used to being blind very quick, because I had occupational therapists. I had therapists come in there. And let me just stick a pin right here. There's so many different specialists coming into my office, or my hotel room, office where? Into my hotel, I guess I don't know what I'm talking about, into my room at the hospital. And, if you are a social worker or a psychologist, you need to build rapport. She just wanted me to tell her about my life from when I was a baby. And I'm like, ma'am, I don't know you. Like, I'm not about to tell you my business. I don't know you. So that was that. So I learned how to know where the toothpaste was, and what does this feel like, and what does that feel like. And they were surprisingly very shocked at how fast I learned how to be a blind person. And I really say it was really only God, because I grew closer to God at this time, with my mom at this time. And so once your girl is like, she putting on her clothes, she doing everything by herself, I want to go the hell home. And I kept asking, I said, Mommy, when are they discharging me? I'm blind. Okay, great, we got it. Like, this is what we're doing. And she's like, are you sure you're okay? And I'm like, Mommy, like, we don't really have a choice right now, because I can't snap my fingers and then have my sight back. We have to deal with what we have to deal with. And at this time, my mom also wanted to sue that neurologist, because Dr. Insurance, because he was negligent with his care for me. He just kept draining my insurance and not getting any kind of results, getting nowhere. And so, as any professional, if you don't know what you're doing, it's okay to say, hey, we've done these tests, I'm not understanding, let's just transfer you. Long story short, I was ready to get up out of there. And I told my mom, I'm like, I don't want to go back to school. I don't want people to see me like this, because in school, I was a cheerleader, I was in ROTC, I was a social butterfly. So just imagine somebody with a big personality, and now I gotta walk with a cane. That would make anybody feel like small. And she was like, Dina, you're going back to school, you're gonna go to your prom, you're going to go to your graduation, and you're gonna finish this. You're not gonna let this, defeat you. And I did exactly as she said. I went back to school, which I had so much support. And that's the thing about this situation, is people say, I don't know how you do it, how you go blind and you ain't never been sick. And I said, well, I had an amazing support system. Amazing, from the school to the teachers to the everybody just huddled around me. So I had a lot of help. I go back to school, you guys. It was not easy, and that's going to be another story that I can tell about some of my experiences transitioning into blindness and going back to school. It was a lot. It was a lot, but we did it. I finished high school. I graduated with 2 degrees. I have a degree in human services and another one in social work from Delaware State University. And so I finished and I continued to go forward. So that's just the story about how I went blind, you guys. I've been blind since I was 17 and I'm in my 20s now. So, It's been some years. So let's now jump into the Q&A. So question one that motherfuckers asked me as a blind person.
D, Beauty, how much can you see, girl? Can you tell me what you can see? Because I need to know what you can see.
And I never understand this because I'm trying to figure out what does it have to do with the price of tea in China, how much I can see. But I understand, like, my brand is Blind Beauty, so I have no issues with answering this. So if you can see everything around you, but you still are gonna bump into things because it's dark. That is what I can see. I can see shadows. I can see a contrast of colors. I can see if people are doing this in my face, which is fucking annoying. I hate when people do that. Can you see this? Can you see that? Can you see it? I'm just like, now if I slap the shit out you, then what? Then what's gonna happen? So yeah, that's what I'm able to see. Question number two. And this rude question happens on the Shade Room. If you guys do not know, go ahead and follow me at Your Blind Beauty on Instagram. I was posted on the Shade Room a couple years ago because I did a jingle called Shade Room. I'm gonna insert a little bit of it right here.
I'm in the shade room. I find my news in the shade room. When bitches wanna be petty, they just coming in the shade room. Posting on a sneak peek, acting like we ain't see that shit. We all saw that shit. If you're famous, they might write about you. 9 times out of 10, the stories are true. You better watch what you do. You might end up on the shade room. They got all tea, no shade. They got all tea, no shade. When I'm all alone, I'm scrolling on my phone. I'm in the shade room. I'm in the shade room. All celebrity gossip, I find it in a room. My tea, I sip real slow and I'm in the shade room.
When I open up the door, it led me back to
The shade room.
So yeah, I did a jingle and I did like a little video to it, and people was in the comments on the Shade Room like, how she scrolling through the Shade Room on her phone, she lying, she can't see, how she doing this and how she doing that. So that brings us to the question, how are you able to text? How are you able to work? How are you able to send emails? How do you do this on a phone? Well, there's a little thing called VoiceOver, okay? VoiceOver is something on every Apple product. If you have an Apple product right now, go ask Siri to turn on VoiceOver and it will literally read everything on the screen to you as it relates to how I work, because I do work from home, okay, on my computer. I use a software called JAWS. It is a, what is it called? Guys, hold on, I had a brain fart. Yeah, okay, so it's a screen reader, again, but there's different functions and different keys that I had to learn, which I was self-taught, y'all. And I'm pretty good at it. I'm able to do my job and get paid. So that's how I'm able to see. In other words, technology is a beautiful thing. There's so many things that are innovative for us to see things. So all of the rude comments, the nice comments, child, I can read them. Okay? Question number 3. Was it weird dating after you lost your sight? Yes, because initially I did not want people to know that I couldn't see because I was embarrassed. But after a while, I'm just like, it is what it is. Like, I mean, I'm blind. I don't know what to tell you. And there's some people that have been very shallow that wanted to talk to me, but when they found out that I was blind, they didn't want to talk to me. I've had people from my past that I talked to, and they're like, you know, once your eyesight clear up, maybe we can try to rekindle this love. And I'm just like, you is a bitch ass nigga. Like, who says that? Who really says that? You think I'm gonna want to talk to you after you say that to me? So the answer to that question is yes, but I've kind of found my footing. I mean, I'm a blind person. It is what it is. I will say I need to be more confident with using my cane, even if I have a man, because just because you have your cane, you still need to represent the fact that you cannot see, because when you go into public places, people act a motherfucking fool. Question number 4. What is one thing you wish that you would have known before you went blind? I wish I would have known that people would change. So initially, like I said, I had a lot of support in school, but a lot of my friendships changed drastically because I felt like they didn't want to say it to me, but I felt like I was a burden, so they wouldn't ask me, hey, D, do you want to go here? Hey, do you want to come over here? I kind of felt like people kind of isolated me and a little bit ostracized, to be honest. I mean, not just at school, I mean at church, child, like I really felt like the odd one out. So that's just kind of how that went. I felt like I wish I would have known that my friendships would change because I take friendship very seriously, and sometimes to this day it really hurts that I don't have the same relationships with people that I used to have before, but everything happens for a reason. And last but not least, question number 5. If you had the opportunity to see again, would you take it? And I would say yes and no. There would not be a blind beauty or music, because guys, I didn't do music until I lost my sight. I didn't start writing poems until I lost my sight. So I think that everything happens for a reason. There would be no blind beauty. There would be none of the experience that I've had if this didn't happen to me. However, when certain things I love to do, I'm unable to do because I can't see, for example, drive or edit my own videos or do content. Like, I used to be a beast at that. In high school, if you know me, my Instagram was definitely pee popping. Like, I used to edit the videos and change the color, and it's hard to do that now because some things are just visual. So the answer to the question is yes and no, and for different reasons. So that is just the Q&A about how I went blind. I really hope this story time / Q&A gave you a little bit more insight into who I am, where I'm coming from. If you want to hear more stories about how I started music, definitely comment down below. If you are enjoying TBS, The Beauty Shop, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you want to become one of my beauticians, which is what I call my supporters, go ahead and follow me on all of my streaming platforms. All of my social media will be listed in the description box below. Do not forget, you are beautiful inside and out, and love yourself. Bye.